The Padres knock off the White Sox, game 2 of this series, taking care of business. Like, that's just what it is. We know this White Sox team is terrible. 36-19 after tonight. When you're the Padres and you have the record that you do, you're just trying to secure that playoff spot. Obviously, they've got a very interesting week ahead after this White Sox series with the Dodgers and the D-backs on the road to finish the regular season. Then we'll see what the matchup is, where the Padres are playing, whether it's here, Arizona, for the wild card series. But yeah, just taking care of business, 6-2. There was a lot of good things that happened in this game for the Padres. Martin Perez, if we start there, I think he needs to just keep being talked about amongst Padres fans. He's probably not going to get the love like nationally because it's the fifth starter. He's not a huge name, but this is another one of those great AJ Preller additions from this season. He has come in. They needed innings. Matt Waldron just wasn't as effective as he was in his first 16 starts or so. They needed someone, a vet, eat innings, but it's quality innings as well. You're not just out there giving up a bunch of runs. And Martin Perez has been great with the Padres. 5 1/3, especially for the fifth starter expectations. 1 earned run tonight, 6 punch outs. And to be honest, I thought it was a little bit of an early pull for Mike Schilt, but he does have a history of doing this, especially this year with this Padres team. Don't wait. And I think Bo Mel did this a little bit last year, where you wait too long, one batter too long. You'd rather pull him one batter early than one batter too long. And so Schilt got Martin Perez out before he had a chance to get through 6. There were a couple of runners, I believe, on there. And you just go to the bullpen. And especially when you have Brian Hoeing, who hasn't pitched in a while. On my bullpen chart that I put out, I looked at it when I saw Hoeing come in just to refresh myself. When was the last time he pitched? It's not been in the last 5 days. 5 days off entering tonight. The guy has a 1.95 ERA after tonight. I think that he needs to pitch more. I would trust him in the 7th inning. I'm not saying that's what he should be doing every time, but maybe it's best to give Robert Suarez some time off, have him work on some things, and you have Brian Hoeing pitch in the 7th, and you have Adam and you have Scott. Now, Adam tonight, yeah, I know, he struggled, couple of walks, just didn't have the command. He was obviously really pissed off at himself. But overall, I mean, still, 2.02 ERA this year. Tanner Scott, 5-out save today. Real quick about Adam. So my point is, I'm not concerned about him. Tanner Scott with the 5-out save. Is he the new closer? Have the Padres found themselves a new closer? There was when Scott came in, Petco went dark. Now the intro, everything else, I believe they have already done that for Tanner Scott this year at the park. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they've done that. I know they have with the Jumbotron because I've been there when they've done that. But the lights off, maybe that's a new thing. But the Padres are like, hey, I mean, this is who the closer is for tonight. And he goes in there. I know Suarez was warming up, but a guy that can go 5 outs. And with Scott, I feel like with him, he's been someone that has been almost like a rubber arm in this Padres bullpen since he's came, which has been really great to see. And again, like I've said, if the matchup is right, then yeah, I am totally comfortable and I am good. And I want Tanner Scott to be pitching in that 9th inning if the matchup is right. I mean, he has more to offer than Robert Suarez does. I know Robert Suarez has that 100 and 101 and the two-seamer, like Ruben Niebla has been saying, against the righties. But, if you're facing I bring up this example. I think I've done this multiple times, but if they're facing the Phillies and you've got Harper coming up to the plate, do you want Suarez pitching or do you want Tanner Scott pitching with that matchup, So little things like that. I'm going to be curious to see what the order is going to be come postseason time. Is it going to be fixed? Are guys going to have their roles, or is it going to be based on the matchup? And you throw what Robert Suarez has done this season, not all the way out the window, if you know what I'm saying, but kind of, because it should be about, excuse me, sorry, I'm still not feeling great. It should be about who is the best matchup, right? Best chance to get this guy out. Ask yourself if you're Mike Schilt, Ruben Niebla, ask yourself, I know there's the 3-batter minimum, but ask yourself, who does that batter that's standing on deck, who does he not want to face? Who would he rather face? If he'd rather face that guy, go with the other guy, you know? So, yeah, I'm interested in seeing that. But Tanner Scott, going back to the difference, obviously, between this year, last year, some of the guys on this team, he's a guy who's willing to do whatever role. Jason Adams, same thing. Jeremiah Estrada, Brian Hoeing. These are unselfish guys. Robert Suarez as well. I don't want to take him out of that. He's willing to do whatever. They care about winning the game. That's what matters. And that's refreshing. That's great to see. Obviously, it's not just the pitching, but it's on offense as well. Jackson Merrill came through again today with an RBI single. Bogey, David Peralta having homers. Elias Diaz, that was a big homer, obviously, because it was a 2-run game in that situation there, 4-2. And then Diaz, I mean, that ball was middle, smacks it. So that was great to see. And we know what he can bring defensively. So I love this catching combo with Higgy and Diaz. And Tanner Scott, that double play that he got, I mean, that was like the biggest play of the game, right? Where it was super close, 2-run game. Jason Adam didn't have the best command. Scott comes in, gets the double play, and it was big for a couple of reasons. Because of that, you hold it there, but also there was 3 pitches, I think, in that inning, something like that, when Scott came in. That allowed him to go pitch the rest of this game. If he would have went 10 pitches there, maybe not would have finished that 9th inning, and maybe you would have had to go to Robert Suarez or go to another reliever. So again, they took care of business. Love that. Good starting pitching performance. It's awesome that we're saying that, every night now. And you had some homers. You had some good defense. I mean, shout out to Manny. Shout out to Bogey. Jerks and Profar laying out. That was a heck of a catch with Estrada on the mound. So, hey, Padres' magic number is now down to 2. And they're just creeping closer. All things are good.